Welcome to Where's Wiseman? We're Emily and Matt, and we are so excited to be taking a 19-day cruise from New York to Iceland. In this video, we're stopping at the first 3 ports of call on our trip, and we'll be visiting St. John, New Brunswick, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Sydney, Nova Scotia in Eastern Canada. Come along with us as we explore these beautiful cities and subscribe so you don't miss any of the fun. After the ship left New York, we spent a full day at sea before finally arriving at the Bay of Fundy and St. John, New Brunswick. Good morning from Canada.
Our first stop here is St. John, New Brunswick. We've never been in this area, pretty excited, but we're about to head out for breakfast here.
And then we're gonna go take our first shore excursion. I believe it's a trolley ride around town, and we'll take you with us, so let's go. We booked a trolley round St. John tour through Oceania. With any of the ship tours, on the morning of the tour, you check in and exchange your excursion ticket for a numbered tour bus assignment before getting off the ship. Each time you leave and return to the ship, you'll scan your ID card, which also serves as your room key.
Our trolley was waiting just outside the cruise terminal, and we hopped on board to begin our tour. The trolley took us through downtown St. John, past King Square, which is an historical park, and then over to the Reversing Falls Rapids. Along the way, our friendly tour guide shared information about St. John and its history. St. John is actually the oldest incorporated city in Canada, established by a royal charter in 1785. It's located on the Bay of Fundy, which is home to the highest tides on the planet, a towering 28 feet or 8.5 meters.
So we have just hopped off our trolley tour for the first time. We are here where the Bay of Fundy meets the St. John River, and the tides actually reverse. I believe it's called Reversing Falls. So we'll just jump in and do a little voiceover and explain all the science behind this. It happens every 12 hours, so twice a day. Pretty cool to see.
The Reversing Falls Rapids are a unique phenomenon created by the collision of the Bay of Fundy and the St. John River. At low tide, St. John River flows over the top of Bay of Fundy. As the tide begins to rise and reaches the same level as the river, this is known as slack tide, which lasts for 20 minutes. This is the only time boats are supposed to travel through this area, as it's too dangerous otherwise. As the bay's tide continues to rise, it will then start to push the river back on itself, reversing the flow of the river. This tide cycle lasts approximately 12.5 hours before repeating.
At the end of the tour, our trolley brought us back to King Square in uptown St. John. In 1909, the City Coronet Band donated the unique 2-story bandstand in the square's center.
Ready to go to the market?
Yeah, God. Let's go to the market.
What'd you think of the tour?
Buy some goodies. It's good. It was good.
Good tour? We got a downhill walk back to the boat, not too bad.
Yeah, gorgeous day. We got lucky.
Just across from the square is the City Market, another popular attraction. The City Market, built around 1876, is a National Historic Site of Canada. It narrowly escaped the Great St. John Fire that swept through the city in 1877 and is the oldest continuing farmers market in Canada. The market features many local vendors, restaurants, and shops with fresh produce, handmade arts and crafts, and a wide selection of domestic and international foods.
So we're coming down King Street, right?
Yeah, we're over there somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we can always go up Princess Street too. And then the boat, yeah, over there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do a sunburn update for everybody?
Sure, yeah. It got a little warm yesterday, I guess.
Okay, trigger warning, just so you know, in 3, 2, 1.
We continued exploring the city and stopped into a local brewery for a beer and a snack. First order of business was for Emily's dad to try poutine for the first time. In case you don't know, poutine is a Canadian dish originating in Quebec, consisting of French fries topped with fresh cheese curds, brown gravy, and there are about 1 million variations of it. There are many shops and restaurants and a few breweries in downtown St. John, just blocks from the cruise terminal. After a few more stops exploring along the waterfront, we eventually made our way back to the ship.
As we pulled away from the dock, we wondered how the captain was going to maneuver the ship out of port. It was pretty fun to watch as he carefully positioned us in the middle of the small harbor and spun the ship around.
Bye, St. John.
We enjoyed a relaxing evening sail with an amazing sunset as we left the Bay of Fundy. We slowly made our way back to the Atlantic and around the southern end of Nova Scotia to arrive at the next day's port of call, Halifax.
Busy morning. Fun. We're getting in the groove here, getting our routine down. Little workout after breakfast, coming into port. Another beautiful day. Man, we've been lucky. Really lucky with the weather so far. Shorts and t-shirt. It's beautiful.
We are getting off the boat in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and you can probably hear we are greeted by bagpipes. Super cool.
Nice entrance here.
Yeah. So, we should let everybody know, right, when you leave the cruise terminal, there's a brewery.
Beautiful.
There it is.
But we're gonna head this way towards the waterfront. What is it, like a 15-minute walk, we think?
Well, it's a 15-minute walk to our first stop, the Maritime Museum, and I think another 2-minute walk to another brewery.
And some lobster rolls.
Yes, but first museum and then lobster rolls, and then we'll walk up the hill to the Halifax Citadel.
When visiting Halifax, one of the most popular attractions is the waterfront. Upon leaving the cruise terminal, just follow the boardwalk along the water into the heart of the city. The boardwalk is 2.5 miles long with plenty of shops, restaurants, museums, tours, and much more along the way.
Right in the heart of Halifax waterfront is the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, where you can immerse yourself in Nova Scotia's rich maritime heritage. Exhibits include naval and World War merchant marine heritage, Nova Scotia's role in the sinking of the Titanic, and connections to Samuel Cunard and the Cunard Line.
One of the main exhibits in the museum is the Halifax Harbor explosion. On December 6, 1917, the SS Mont Blanc and the SS Emo collided in Halifax Harbor, causing a massive explosion, tidal wave, and fires. The Mont Blanc's main cargo was bulk high explosives. When barrels of petrochemical on deck triggered the blast, the ship was transformed into a 3-kiloton bomb. This collision caused the largest man-made explosion prior to the atomic bomb. Some 2,000 people died and thousands more were injured. Destruction was widespread, with many homes destroyed or damaged.
So we just came out of I think it's the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic. Really cool exhibits in there, talking all about the Halifax explosion. And I didn't realize this, but after the Titanic sank, they took the survivors to New York, but they brought the dead here to Halifax, and I believe they're buried here as well. So there's a Titanic exhibit in there as well. There's a ton of exhibits, so definitely worth a quick stop if you're in Halifax. But now, on to lunch.
Downtown Halifax is essentially built into the side of a steep hill, and overlooking it is the Halifax Citadel National Historic Site. Four versions of the Citadel have protected the town of Halifax. The early forts were built of earth and logs until 1815, when British authorities decided that the old wooden forts defending Canada's strategic strongpoint should be replaced with more permanent works of stone. Construction on the fourth citadel was completed in 1856. Its distinctive star shape is typical of many 19th century forts built by the British military and gave the garrison sweeping arcs of fire. From its deep defensive ditch, soldiers pointed muskets from every angle of its stout walls, and large cannons lined its ramparts. It's easy to see why no enemy force ever dared to attack the Halifax Citadel.
Well, that was a fun stop at the Halifax Citadel. Bit of a hike to get up here, but not that bad. It's only like 5 blocks off the water.
Yeah, the last couple of blocks are a little steeper than they look, but it's definitely manageable. You could take an Uber up here.
Yeah.
We're walking down the route like that buses, tour buses and things take, so maybe that's a little bit easier of a walk to get up here, but definitely don't miss the Citadel.
And now we're heading downhill, easy walk to Alexander Keith's. Yep, we're getting a beer.
Beer 30.
One of the oldest working breweries in North America, Alexander Keith's first opened its doors almost 200 years ago. Today, the brewery is a popular tourist destination, crafting small batch brews. We didn't do a very good job with our research on this one and thought we'd be able to sit down and enjoy a beer, not realizing only brewery tours are offered here. Not to fear though, the staff recommended the Brown Hound right around the corner serving Alexander Keith's beers on tap, so that's where we headed next.
That is amazing. Cold towels as you get back on the boat.
They think of everything.
Yeah, they really do think of everything.
How is it, Dad? Refreshing?
If you'd prefer to take a day trip outside of Halifax, we suggest Peggy's Cove, which is a popular attraction about an hour away. Located in the quaint fishing village of Peggy's Cove Lighthouse is one of Nova Scotia's most well-known lighthouses and is considered to be the most photographed lighthouse in Canada. We opted not to take this tour as Emily's dad had previously been there.
So we just did a self-guided walking tour around Halifax for about 4.5 hours. And we've got, an hour and a half or 2 hours before the boat's gonna take off again.
Yep.
So time to hit the pool and cool down after this nice hot day in Canada.
Relax after probably 7 miles, 15,000 steps, but it was good. Well, just out of port, getting some drinks. We're waiting on dinner. It's packed right now, but beautiful view coming out of port.
We have some live music if you couldn't tell. So leaving Halifax, here we go.
Overnight, we would cruise farther north along Nova Scotia's coast to Cape Breton Island and the port of Sydney. Good morning from Sydney, Canada. We have just docked. It's been a very productive morning. It's about 10:45 right now. We're a little bit ahead of schedule. I think we were originally scheduled to disembark at 11. We got up, had some breakfast, hit the gym as we were coming into port. So that was pretty fun. It's always a fun view, working out and seeing the ocean and seeing land come into view. We don't have any tours booked for Sydney, but we do have a couple places that we definitely want to hit as we walk around the town. There is another cruise ship docked here. It's the same one that was at, where were we yesterday? It was the same one that was at Halifax. The days just blur together. I'm not even sure what day of the week it is. I think it's a Sunday. Anyway, we're about to go explore Sydney, Canada, and we'll take you with us.
We again opted not to hop on a tour bus, but instead do a self-guided tour through Sydney. If you have more time to spend in this part of Nova Scotia, you might consider adding the Cabot Trail to your list. This 187-mile-long highway runs through Cape Breton Highlands National Park and along the Atlantic Ocean coastline, offering breathtaking views.
Fun fact, Sydney is home to the world's largest fiddle, which greets visitors arriving via cruise ship. The iconic fiddle and bow reach 60 feet in height and were constructed in 2005 as a tribute to the folk music and traditions of the province's Celtic community. Built in 1787, Cosset House is one of the oldest surviving houses in Sydney and possibly one of the oldest buildings on Cape Breton Island. It's one of the earliest examples of neoclassical Georgian architecture in Nova Scotia. The 1 1/2 story wood-framed home was originally built with timbers transported from New England and assembled on the property in Sydney.
And you can tell this was built a long time ago. There isn't a level floor in this whole house. Everything slopes towards the middle too. It's very interesting.
Named for its original owner, Reverend Rana Cosset, the house depicts 18th century life and serves as the cornerstone of the city's North End Heritage Conservation District. Just down the street from Cosset House is the Jost House, which is also one of the oldest surviving residential buildings in Sydney, built around 1786. We opted not to go inside and continued our walking tour of the city.
We eventually made our way back down to the waterfront boardwalk to soak in the harbor views. Last on the agenda was a stop at Island Folk Cider House for some great local cider and air conditioning.
If you're looking for souvenirs, be sure to pop into the cruise pavilion before getting back on the ship.
What a fun day in Sydney. We are making our way back to the ship. It's, 2 o'clock maybe?
Yeah.
We don't leave port until, I think, 6:30 or 7. So we're gonna hit the pool because I think we only have one more day of nice weather, and then once we head for Greenland, we're in the 60s and lower. No, actually 40s?
40s,
We're in the 40s.
It's 85 here
So
in Sydney, and it's supposed to be a high of, I think, 44 in a couple days.
yeah, so we're gonna soak up the sun while we can,
Yep.
hit the pool while we can, and not wear parkas while we can.
We set sail as we were eating dinner al fresco, and we slowly watched Sydney fade away into the distance, replaced by another amazing sunset. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this second video in our cruise series.
If you have any questions about the cruise or any of the places we visited, let us know down in the comments section.
In our next video, we'll be cruising to France before returning to Canada. You heard that right.
Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that adventure.